what is it that we actually do in sales, right? I mean, knowing that 66% of the time we're not selling, what do you think it is that we have a look? I compiled some of the things that I'm doing in my job, and I hope I caught many, if not all of them. So, well, much of my daily work really is reactive. So I would get warm leads, and by leads I mean potential customers that to sell to. They're not yet customers. They are interested in the solution. I would get them through conversions on the website. So those could be, for instance, signups for the free CRM tool. This is kind of the entry barrier for HubSpot to get started with the tool, but not yet pay for it. So then someone being in sales like me would be able to contact these users, these leads, in order to qualify them, in order to find out what is it that they'd like to do with HubSpot, and are they qualified for purchasing a paid solution. Now, these leads can also come from ebook downloads or from demo requests. I mean, you can come to the website and request a demo straight of HubSpot, and then you would be speaking to me, for instance. Yes, as I said, sourcing as well. So by sourcing, I mean the act of finding new companies or leads to sell to. We will get deeper into that. Then prospecting, which means reaching out to those leads, so potential customers or prospects, in order to start the sales process with them. By the way, why do I say warm leads? I say warm leads because these leads have already had a touch point with me, right? So if you've seen Wolf of Wall Street or so, or these typical movies where people are selling, where they're calling people, they're cold calling people, and they're trying to sell them stuff. This is cold calling. Those would be very, very cold leads. No one in sales likes that. So we all love our warm leads that have had a touch point with us through maybe a CRM sign up, through an ebook download, through demo request, etc. We'll go deeper into that. Then, of course, conducting the complete sales process and doing the negotiation part, right? So leading prospects and customers through the sales funnel. Then conducting demos and discovery calls. Now, HubSpot being such a huge platform, you need to know exactly what to show off the platform to the prospect, because otherwise you're going to spend hours and hours and hours showing the complete platform and showing the wrong things that the prospect might not want to do. Aligning with contract management, renewal, and customer success. Now, at HubSpot, we're not just account executives, we're also account managers. So we also manage customers that already have a paid subscription. And when they're, for instance, renewing their contract, or when they are not satisfied with a certain product, or if they want to know more about new products, etc., then you would have to align with these colleagues out of contract management, renewal, and customer success, and closely work together with them. Forecasting, very, very, very important in sales. So every month I would have to give a forecast, and actually it's every week. I would meet with my manager, and we would look at my pipeline and see exactly and try to find out how much revenue am I going to make for this month. So forecasting is a big part of sales. Working with BDRs. BDR stands for Business Development Representatives, and those are colleagues that would be qualifying leads for me, that would be speaking to potential customers and book meetings for me. So they're essentially helping me in my outreach. Working closely with solutions engineers. Sometimes you would have a prospect who has a very, very technically difficult use case and has such deep technical questions that I really cannot answer them. Now, there I would go together with the solution engineers and find these answers. Evaluating HubSpot with prospects and customers. Learning and development, always trying to become better, learning from the top performers, etc. And then, of course, internal meetings. So those things are some of the things that we do in sales, that we do at HubSpot as an account executive. But with all those activities, what do we actually get paid for? Well, at least what defines almost half of our salary. And let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the targets. Now, being in sales, targets are really, really important. So we actually get paid by, or we get measured by the following three metrics, and we get paid by the first metric. It's called MRR, which stands for monthly recurring revenue. So that relates to the monthly amounts in dollars that our customer is paying for their HubSpot subscription. So if you're purchasing HubSpot, like a typical HubSpot subscription is around $12,000 per year. that would be $1,000 per month. So you would be accredited $1,000 per month. If I closed that deal with you, then I would be accredited $1,000 per month. This is the most important metrics that we're being measured and paid by. Now, our targets are monthly, so every month the targets are being reset. And the soft targets, so to say, are calls and emails. We need to reach a certain number of calls, so we have to have called a certain number of people. As I said, we're not getting paid by this, but it's still something that is being expected of us, the same as a number of emails that we need to send to potential customers or to customers itself. So now you might wonder, can we just reach out to any company and try our luck? Can I just contact any company, and are my colleagues doing that as well? And well, the answer to that is no, we can't. Actually, we have what we call book of business. We have a capacity of companies that we can work on. So for everyone in HubSpot, for each of them, they have their capacity of 400 companies that we can work on. And those are not customers, those are prospects. So they're leads, right? So every day we are receiving around 5 to 10 warm leads by HubSpot. And since I cannot have more than 400 leads, I need to be super efficient with them. I need to quickly guide them through the sales process and then make sure to also end the sales process and get rid of the leads if I feel like if I feel like I need to disqualify the lead, if I feel like I cannot go further in the sales process with this person or company. Then also, since I work in the small business account executive team, the employee range that I'm responsible for is 1 to 25 employees. So that means I cannot work a company with 27 employees or 30 employees. I'm really only responsible for small businesses, so mostly startups. And I have one BDR working for me who assists me in qualifying leads and books meetings with me. Now, I was speaking a lot about warm leads, about these leads that are coming in through the website and contacting me, or those leads that I see in the CRM and that I'm able to contact. Now, at HubSpot, we're all about inbound marketing. And if you've never heard inbound marketing, it is defined as inbound marketing is a business methodology that attracts customers by creating valuable content and experiences tailored to them. Essentially, that means we offer blog articles, ebooks, the free CRM, webinars for our potential customers. So it's quite likely that someone comes to our website and downloads a free marketing plan template if this person is the head of marketing of a company, right? So once you come to our website, once you download this ebook, you will have to give away your contact details. You will have to register with your email and your name. And you will also give an opt-in to be receiving sales emails, so to say, and to be receiving calls. I can then see this on the CRM. I see exactly like in this example here, that you downloaded an ebook and then I would call you. This would be how I'm getting these warm leads, so to say, right? When it comes to sourcing, I quickly spoke about it. Sourcing essentially means finding new customers to sell to. And apart from those customers that we're getting through inbound marketing, we are also actively looking for new customers. Right, so I could be going on social media, on LinkedIn, for instance, or on Facebook, and actively be looking for companies that are, for instance, doing advertisement there, right? Also, with the LinkedIn Sales Navigator integration, you're able to specifically source and specifically look for companies. So let's say I could look for every startup in Berlin that has up to 15 or 25 employees. I could see them on LinkedIn, and then I could try to get them into my capacity and then start contacting them. But of course, also through referrals and personal network, right? So if I have a friend who starts a startup or who works in a certain company and tells me, right, we're looking towards implementing a new CRM system, or we have those issues, I can contact them and try to help them. And I could also source that company by contacting them and doing so. But then also through startup networks, for instance, Crunchbase. If you're not familiar with Crunchbase, Crunchbase is sort of a registry of startups, and it shows you exactly how much funding each startup got. So if I see that a startup gets 10 million euros of funding, I know that they can very well afford HubSpot. So it makes sense for me to reach out and to see if they would be a good fit for our software. And then, of course, also through the internal leads, so through our internal system, through newsletter subscribers, blog readers, CRM signups, etc. So cold calling is not really the only option to make these sales, to get these leads. And then prospecting is defined by going after these just sourced leads, these leads that you have in the system, these prospects. So you would reach out to them. You would contact them through multiple touch points and through different channels. So for instance, I would call them on the phone. I might not reach them, so I'll send them an email. They will not most likely reply to the email, so I will call them again. Then I write them on LinkedIn. Then I send them a video, etc. Really, persistence is key here. There are some prospects that I'm calling every day. And then I also send them emails, and then again messages on LinkedIn until they finally reply you. So it's really important to be persistent here. In general, we say that we're doing around 7 to 12 touch points per customer until we sort of give up. But that depends. That depends. If it's a really, really good company, a very good fit for HubSpot, we might even do more than that. We might even do more touch points. So the goal of prospecting really is to have a first call to find out the goals, plans, challenges, timeline, authority, and budget of that customer or of the prospect. So we call that GPCTAB. Or we could just also say we want to find out the pain points of the prospect and then figure out with the prospect whether HubSpot can be a solution for them. So how do we do all of that? Where do we do that? Well, we do that in our own system. So this is how HubSpot looks like. So this is how the contact record in HubSpot looks like. I would see exactly who's the person I'm contacting here. I would see the emails that I sent to that person. I'd see the touch points. So for instance, also the website analytics data. So I would see on what sorts of websites this person was, what sorts of HubSpot related website this person was surfing around. And I would also see the calls that I've made with this person in the past. I could send myself tasks for calling this person in a couple of days or so. And here I would just be able to see any sorts of interaction that me or my colleagues have had with this person. On the right side, I would then see what sorts of company this person is from. I would see an open deal that I might have with this person. So by an open deal, I mean it's an open opportunity, so the possibility to sell to this person. And I would also see customer service tickets, for instance, if there were any with our customer service team. So in order to really give a great customer experience, we have all this information in one contact record. This is also what I meant in the beginning by crafted, not cobbled. So yeah, that relates very well to how we also use HubSpot. So when it comes to prospecting, I've also said it, what I also really like to do is using videos. So sometimes I would also send videos to my prospects or to my customers where you would see the website in the background and my face in the front. So I would talk a little bit about the website, and I would talk a little bit about HubSpot, and very quickly tell them why I believe that HubSpot could be a good fit for them and why I believe that they could be a good fit for HubSpot. Then I would send them this video either via email or via LinkedIn, for instance. And then I get notifications once they watch it, and usually when they watch it, I would call them and ask them how they found it. And usually the feedback to those videos is really, really good. So this is something that's actually quite liked by both us and also the prospects. HubSpot certainly gives us a bunch of tools that really help us to become more effective and efficient. So for instance, we're also using templates and sales sequences. So templates, essentially, it's an email template with personalization tokens where, for instance, here you see the first name of the contact. It's being automatically populated. So you can use these tokens to personalize your templates and then send them out quite quickly. This really saves me a lot of time and a lot of effort, because you can just send out an email with one click, essentially. When it comes to sales sequences, it basically means using these templates and putting them into an automated sequence. So the templates that I built from scratch in the beginning, I could put them into the sequence, and then they're being automatically sent out. This helps me to really reflect, to really plan my whole sales process and automate it, because emails are being automatically sent out. The first email goes out, I might not receive a reply, then I can set a task to be automatically created to call this person or so. If I don't reach the person, the second email gets automatically sent out. So I do not need to remember to manually send out the email. This saves me so much time. What we also use is playbooks. So that gives us the possibility to reflect our process a bit more, to gives us an outline of what questions to ask to the prospect. So it would give me the possibility to straight put in my notes for the respective questions and then save it on the contact record and save it directly in HubSpot. So I will know to not forget any questions to ask, to not forget any important information that I'm supposed to gather or information that I need to continue with the sales process. Another tool that we use, that we have in the company that really helps me is Gong. And this really helps me to constantly learn and get better. So this is essentially a platform where every of our sales calls, of course, only if the customer or the prospect agrees, gets recorded. So I can easily go in there and look for my calls or calls of colleagues and analyze them to find out what is working well and what is maybe not working so well. So this is essentially my Netflix, because I can just easily go in and find the calls of top performers and try to find out how are they doing and how are they closing their deals, right? So this is really a great platform to learn, a great platform to become better. You can also send these calls to your manager, for instance, or to other colleagues and analyze them together. And if the call is in English, it's also being transcribed. So it also already gives you the transcription of it. Yes, so to end with the presentation, I have just one more slide where I would just quickly, in a nutshell, present you in my opinion, the success factors for sales. So what do you have to do to be successful in sales? And I think the most important point is mindset. And I don't want to come around as a sales guru or like a life coach or so. But it really actually is, in my opinion, the most important success factor. And it sounds like a cliche, but it's you really need a good mindset to deal with the ups and downs in the sales job. Like I said before, it's a roller coaster. There really are times where I didn't hit my targets and where my promotions became far out of reach. And it seemed like I would lose every deal, and it felt horribly. But through those times, you need to push through, knowing that it will get better, knowing the things that you can do in order to get better, and knowing that there are also some things that you cannot influence, right? So mindset is really important. Then persistence. It's extremely important to be persistent, calling prospects multiple times, raising questions if you get no for an answer, not taking no for an answer from a prospect, keeping up the process for months. Some sales process can take months, even years. I mean, so often it has happened during my career that I would be speaking to prospects, let's say a year ago, and they would tell me a clear no. And now I contacted them again 3 months before or so. And they would just tell me, oh yeah, HubSpot is on our agenda again. Let's evaluate. So you need to be persistent. Then love for the products. Said in the beginning, sell what you love. I absolutely love HubSpot in every way, and especially the product. And talking about it and showing the product in demos, it brings me joy, and I think that the customers see that and they appreciate that, and that it makes it easier to sell. Product knowledge. The product is constantly changing, so almost every day new features are being rolled out, and I think it's important that you keep up with these changes and that you also maybe privately use HubSpot in order to know the features, that you know what you're talking about, that you're up to your game. Then organization efficiency. Be on top of your sales process. Make it easy and organized for the prospect or the customer. Have organized prospecting routines and use your calendar to define slots when you are calling, when you're sending sequences, when you're having demos, when you're having discovery calls. And have your sequences and templates ready and update them on a regular basis, because they save you time and make you more efficient. Objection handling. Practice objection handling so that you'll know what to say when they come. And lastly, be curious, always ask why, educate yourself, follow sales gurus on LinkedIn, excuse me, do trainings, speak with top performers and learn. And lastly, use a really good CRM, and I'll leave open which one to use, but you know which one. So yeah, thank you so much for your attention.